Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, MegaCrasher is here, and I welcome you back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon review, analysis, movesets, competitive guide, whatever the hell you want to call it, man. So with all that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into the Pokemon that we're going to be reviewing, and it ain't just a Pokemon, man. It is the Ultra Beast known as Xurkitree. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started! Woo! Alright, man, so check me out on this. The typing of Xurkitree is pure electric, and I just gotta say, man, that with a clean as hell typing like this, you're only weak against one typing, which I will get into a little bit later on in this video, but now we take a look at the ability. It is an ability that almost doesn't need description, man, because if you followed the rest of the guides of the Ultra Beast, man, you would see that all of these Ultra Beasts share the same ability, Beast Boost. And what this does is it boosts a stat by one stage of the highest numerical value whenever you KO a Pokemon, man. And speaking of stats, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about next, baby. Woo! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so up next, let's get into the stats, man. So we checked this out. Its HP is at base 83, which is a pretty respectable number. We got base 89 on the attack, man. 71 in both the defense and special defense, and the base 83 speed, which isn't too bad, but it isn't the best. But ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about best. This right here is the holy grail of Xurkitree, in my opinion, that being its special attack. It sits at an astronomical base 173, man, and this stat without question is going to activate Beast Boost, and it's going to have a special attack boost whenever it KOs a Pokemon, making this Pokemon being able to snowball into something just absolutely amazing, man. That base 173 special attack paired with the likes of a Scarf or a Specs, man, ooh, damn, man, that right there is going to be without a doubt insanity. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not through yet, because now it's time to take a look at its strengths and weaknesses in terms of its type, man. We take a look. It's, as I said before, man, a pure electric type. It's nice and clean because you only got one type to worry about in terms of weaknesses, and that is to ground. And also, might I add, you might not want to use electric type moves on a ground type because it has no effect, man. But that's quite okay, because you have ways of dealing with ground type Pokemon, which I'll get into later on. But we take a look at its resistances. It has a resistance to flying, steel, and its own type, that being electric. And I just gotta say, man, that typing right there, like I said, nice and clean, man. I'm talking about a very reliable mono-typing in terms of defense, as well as pretty okay offensively, too. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to get into the competitive guide portion of the video with some movesets! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so first things first, now we get into the meat of the video. Now we get into the competitive portion, where we have some movesets here on how you can use Xurkitree. Now, the first two sets I have right here are very similar. Just the only difference is the item of choice. So I might as well break down these two sets at the same time. So, what we got going on here, we have ourselves our standard EV spread, timid nature, max special attack, max speed, with 4 special defense, and the item for choice here is the only difference here between the two sets. We got Choice Scarf, which allows for you to be locked into one move while having your speed boosted by 50%, while Choice Specs, on the other hand, boosts your special attack by 50%, but locks you into one move. Now, both of these movesets are going to consist of the likes of Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, and Energy Ball. Thunderbolt, obviously, for your really strong electric-type stab. Volt Switch for Switch Initiative. Hidden Power Ice for Ice-type coverage against the likes of ground-type Pokemon, such as the likes of Garchomp, Hippowdon, as well as the likes of Landorus. And we also have ourselves Energy Ball, so that way you have yourself some good coverage against the likes of water and ground type Pokemon, such as the likes of Swampert, Gastrodon, Quagsire, the list goes on. Now, of course, there are some other options here. You can go for something like Dazzling Gleam to have a really solid move to hit Dragon type Pokemon, but at the same time, in my opinion, Hidden Power Ice does a fine job, so you might not want to put in something like Dazzling Gleam. I mean, you can if you want, but my recommendation would in fact be Energy Ball for more consistent grass type damage against ground type Pokemon, and this right here is just a really solid move to have, in my opinion. So anyways, like I said, with the EV spread right here, it's going to be a timid nature, max special attack, max speed. And this right here is a pretty straight ahead, no nonsense smash mouth kind of set. Well, actually, both of these sets are exactly that. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what we got going on in the next set here is going to be a sub-tail glow set. And this set right here, while it may be a little bit on the gimmicky side, this set can in fact work, because what we got going on here, okay, so first off, we have ourselves leftovers, which allows for you to have a little bit of health recovery at the end of each turn. Now substitute, while it does take away a quarter of your health, this actually allows for you to be hidden behind a protective barrier, so not only are you able to scout, but also it protects you from status moves, leech seed, trick, switcheroo, whatever you want to call it. And this right here, is my opinion, is just an overall move that is really good, and it eases prediction as well. So up next, we have ourselves Tail Glow. Why the hell Game Freak decided to give this Pokemon with a base 173 special attack, Tail Glow, which boosts your special attack by 3 stages, I'll never know. But this right here is what's going to make this Pokemon extremely difficult to switch into very safely, because after one Tail Glow boost, I mean, you're going to be hitting very, very hard, regardless if it's resisted or not. So, up next, we have ourselves Thunderbolt. It is going to be a really solid base 90 Electric-type move that has a 10% chance to paralyze, and it's just really solid, consistent damage. And I decided to give it Hidden Power Ice, so that way you have your pseudo Bolt Beam combo, and very few Pokemon have resistances of those two types. So anyways, we take a look at the stats right here. It's going to be a straightforward timid nature set with max special attack, max speed. How you doing, man? And this set right here, I've tried this set in-game, and I gotta say that I actually really like this set. I even tried it on Pokemon Showdown a couple of times, and I actually really like this set. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit frail, and its substitutes are more likely to break from neutral hits, but the thing is that you use a substitute on a status move. Like, if you can predict a status move, and you use substitute, bam! There you go, man. I mean, you got a free substitute up, and now you're in the driver's seat. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the next set that I have right here is a little bit of a custom-made set. I mean, I kind of tweaked this a little bit. I know that Xurkitree actually kind of made mention of a bulkier Calm Mind set for Xurkitree, but I wanted to tweak it a little bit and make it sort of a little bit more gimmicky, but also a little bit more tricky to deal with here. So, the item for choice, like the last set, is going to be coming in the form of leftovers. Now, what we got going on here, we have ourselves Calm Mind, which allows for you to boost your special attack and special defense by 1 stage. Now, the next move right here is what's going to be the meat of the set. It's going to be the crux of the set. It is going to be Eerie Impulse, and what this does is it lowers your opponent's special attack by 2 stages. Now this right here, okay, this move right here is going to cause some big time shenanigans, and I haven't yet tried the set out, but I'm damn excited to try it out, man. Because say if you were to have a Pokemon that of a special attacking variant switch in and be able to think that they can eat up a hit from you or whatever. I don't even know, man. Just for whatever reason, just go with it. So you got a special attacker coming to switch in, and say if you predict a special attacker to switch in, well, guess what? They're going to get an Eerie Impulse thrown right at them, and you want to know something? That right there is what's going to put you in the advantage and in the driver's seat, because now they have a choice. It's like, okay, do I either switch out or do I come in and do less damage? And you can just simply set up some Calm Minds from there. And then we have ourselves Hidden Power Ice and Thunderbolt for really good coverage. And in my opinion, like I said, you want to have Hidden Power Ice and Thunderbolt for really solid Bolt Beam coverage, because a very few Pokemon resist both of those types. So anyways, with a moveset like this comes a very specific EV spread. So we have ourselves a Bold Nature. We're going to have max HP, and we're going to have 180 into its defense and 76 into its speed. So that way you'll be able to outpace minimum speed Land or Asterion and be able to smack them in the face with the Hidden Power Ice. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, up next, we have ourselves kind of like another gimmicky kind of set going on. This is going to be a dual screens Light Clay set right here. So what Light Clay does is the user actually ends up increasing the duration of the likes of Aurora Veil, Light Screen, and Reflect to 8 turns instead of 5. and what Reflect does is it cuts the physical damage in half, while Light Screen does the opposite. It cuts the special attack damage in half for 5 turns, but they both get boosted up to 8 turns with the use of Light Clay. And then we have ourselves Volt Switch, so that way you can set up your screens and then Volt Switch on out. Not to mention, it's also a really solid electric type move anyways. And then we have Hidden Power Ice for them ground type switch-ins. And then we take a look at the EV spread right here. I got 248 EVs into its HP, 8 into special attack, and 252 into speed, making this a really fast, bulky support kind of Pokemon. So, I haven't tried this set out yet, but I have a feeling that with a set like this, it'll definitely create some big-time shenanigans and some mind games right here, because usually when you're facing off against Xurkitree, you are expecting a fully offensive variant or like a setup variant, but when they see a more defensive variant like this variant, or maybe even something like this variant, they're going to be confused and be like, okay, what the hell do I do now? What do I do now? Kind of thing, right? So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so coming up next, this isn't so much like a set, this is more or less some options right here. So it does have access to the likes of Signal Beam, so that way you can smack the likes of Celebi. I was going to say Cerebi for a second. Celebi for 4 times super effective damage, because it happens to be a bug type move, and Celebi is 4 times weak to bug-type moves. We also have ourselves Dazzling Gleam. Well, technically, I've highlighted it earlier in one of these sets right here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so getting back on here, we also have ourselves Hidden Power Fire for the likes of Scizor, Ferrothorn Fortress, the list goes on. And then we have ourselves Hypnosis. This thing actually gets Hypnosis, which, even though it's a base 60 accurate move, it puts the target to sleep. Now, the thing of it is something that I forgot to mention up until this point. These Ultra Beasts, or any Pokemon that I review, has access to the use of Z Crystals. So, say for example, we're going to be doing a set like this, okay? So we take away the choice specs, and we say Electrium Z. So Electrium Z is what's going to make this Pokemon an absolute nuke. So, what goes on here, if the holder has an Electric type move, this item allows for it to use a Z Electric move. So if you use Electrium Z in combination with Thunderbolt, that is going to increase the power of Thunderbolt and turn it into a completely different move, and you're more often than not going to get a free Beast Boost, because whatever takes that move is going to get completely annihilated. So, Beast Boost is going to activate, you're going to get your +1 in your special attack, and that right there is when the fun begins, baby. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is what's going to conclude this video. So if you guys enjoyed the video, then make sure you fire off a like, man. Let's see if you can keep the like goal hype going for this series, baby. And let's go for 20 likes. And if you want more content like this, make sure you rate, comment, share this video, and subscribe today to MegaCrasher and the community for the best, and I mean without a shadow of a doubt, the best Pokemon Sun and Moon hype that you can find right now, right here on YouTube. And just overall the best hype, electricity, energy, entertainment, and passion done by this crazy nut house known as MegaCrasher. Because you guys already know the deal by now, my friends. When we're community type Pacton is one, you know that we shine brighter than the sun and the moon combined. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next upload.